Greetings, everybody. I'm Karen Vaughn from 106.7 WTLC, Indy's R&B leader, and one of your stations here today for Inspire You, our virtual expo. And we're going to dive in with some indie moms to talk about work-life balance, wine, diapers, and Zoom meetings. Moms, you know what I'm talking about. It has been a struggle, especially during quarantine. So I would like to present to you our indie moms. Up first, we have Leslie Bailey. She is all things indie maven, the creator, the founder, and CEO. Welcome.
Thank
you. All right. Next, we have Stacey Kreider. She is a partner and managing attorney at the Hankey Law Firm. Welcome, Stacey.
Thank you, Karen.
And we also have Deshawn Perry Smitherman. She is the U.S. and Global Communications Manager, Global Diversity and Inclusion at Eli Lilly and Company. Yes, and that's a new position, so congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, thank you all for being here. And the one thing that, is a constant, I want to say, joy and challenge, is the juggling and balancing of motherhood. It is a badge of honor and love and respect to all the moms that are watching now. If you have comments, you can definitely leave them as well as ask questions. We'll be hanging out in the chat afterwards, but let's just jump into it, ladies. First, how has your day been so far today? What's the craziest thing that has happened today? Because we always have something that happens.
My son just started a couple hours of school a week.
Okay.
And it was like his fourth day maybe. And it was the first day though that he realized that this is like a thing we're going to do now. And so there were tears and tears. That was something that I was not prepared for today. But, he'll make it through. We'll make it through.
Okay. Well, you know what?
To make a very, very smart decision of getting a new kitten. So we have 3 children, and now we have a cat and a kitten. And the kitten got out as I was leaving for work, and so I had to chase him around because he can't be outside. So that was a fun way to start my day.
And for me, I would say the craziest thing that happened today was I was listening to my daughter on a Zoom call. And she was flabbergasted that back in my day, we used to have pay phones. She was like, what in the world is that? She's 10 years old. And I think her teacher was trying to show her what a pay phone was. And she was like, oh my God, what is that? I can't believe that those things even existed. So just listening to that Zoom conversation, she really showed me how old I am.
Yeah, let her play a cassette tape and then it pop and figure out how to put it back together so you can hear your favorite song over and over again. That will really just make her go bonkers.
Yeah. For real.
We all face challenges. We've all had something today that was unexpected, that was handled. And that's what we do. We get it done and we handle it. So, going from today's challenge to some of the biggest challenges that we have as moms, what would you say is the biggest challenges faced by mothers in the workplace?
I think balance. It all comes back to balance. Balancing your stress, balancing your time, balancing your attention. It's so difficult because you're being pushed in so many directions, and you want to give your all at work, and you want to give your all as a mom, and it's always impossible to give everything always. So you just kind of have to pick, okay, this is what needs more of my attention right now. And the other one's going to have to wait a little bit and just do your best to balance. But that, for me, I think is the hardest struggle for sure.
Okay.
And I could add to that one. So definitely everything that Stacey said. I would say another challenge, especially in this COVID environment, is, if you work for a major company and you're on that mindset that you want to move up the ladder within your company, in this COVID time, it's so hard sometimes to try to get some type of visibility So I would say one of the hardest things when your life has changed to now you can't necessarily walk into a building and be seen is trying to figure out how to be seen and heard, within this tiny little space, and making sure that the right people hear you, and see you, as you are on your journey to move up, within your area, your company.
I think too, choices would be my answer. So, and sometimes we don't even have a choice. I mean, I think this year, the way that we've seen women have to leave the workforce. I know I multiple times have gone, can I continue running this business? I don't know that I can. I think because of the challenges in the logistics, I think this has to be the time where I call it. And so far that hasn't happened, but there were a couple of times where I'm like, I don't know how else to navigate this. I'm having to choose between this and this. And I'm privileged in the way that I have some of those choices. But some of these decisions are just being made for us too. So how to make difficult choices when we're faced with them, and then also how to come to terms with the fact that we aren't able to control a lot of things right now.
Yeah, that choice has been very difficult for moms across the nation. I understand there's over 2 million women that have left the workplace because of what's happening during the pandemic. And they made that choice like, well, I got to take care of my kids, and we'll figure it out. We always do figure it out, but there are times where the hurdle is just way too strong. And that's when you need to lean on your support system and develop a support system and not be afraid to say, hey, wave your hand and I need help. I think a lot of times, especially with motherhood, we feel like we have to dominate and we have to handle it all. And it comes to a point where just like at work, we have to delegate. Right. And we continue to figure it out. And I wanted to talk to you about being productive, at work and being a mom. So what would you tell moms that are working? What can they do to manage their time better, to be more productive at work and have more time at home?
I recently was turned on to something. I think the book is called Clockwork, but the brand is like Run Your Business Like Clockwork. And I won't get into details of how it works, but the point is so much more that stop trying to manage all of the things, figure out what you can actually just get rid of, right? For me, it's like taking a more minimalist approach to it. So I know I'm not going to be able to handle all of this. And you can try every productivity hack that there is, but at the end of the day, probably the easiest or best, most effective thing is to just figure out what you can actually take off your plate, because you're never going to be able to manage it all or prioritize everything.
Right.
I completely agree. I think before I had children, I was kind of the fixer. I put it on myself, my friends, my family. I wanted to fix everything. I wanted to have the answers. I wanted to do everything. And becoming a mother was very humbling. I learned that I can't be everything to everyone, and I can't have all the answers, and I can't fix the world. And you can only do what you can do. And if you put too much pressure on yourself, I know for me, if I have too many things on my plate, sometimes that makes me a little paralyzed. Like, okay, what do I do now? Where if I'm able to realistically think, this is out of my control, or this actually isn't my problem to fix, that person should handle that. Or if I ideally can say, hey, you can do this. Can you figure this out, for us or for them or for yourself or whatever. That's ideal, because that creates more time where I can handle the things that I specifically need to handle, and I need to be the one to do them. And that's helped me.
And I can share some of the tactical things that I have done that have really kind of made a difference in my life. At the start of this pandemic, I felt like I could do it all. I felt like I could be a great mom, a great homeschool teacher. I thought I could kill it at my job and also still figure out things within my personal life because, hey, I'm going to be at home now. That means I don't have to get up, get dressed, and go into work. That means that I can work longer hours and, I can make it all work. Well, that didn't work out for me. Ended up going crazy, ended up just being too much of a struggle. I had a father-in-law who passed away from COVID-19. My kids were at home learning, and I learned that I was not the best teacher. I did not do a good job with trying to, balance both. So what I started to really do is think about those things that I could control. And one of the things that really became very clear to me was that I needed to get in control of my finances. So that was a bucket that I needed to take care of. The second thing was I needed to get in control of my health, because as the pandemic time at home kept going, I kept gaining weight. So I figured that I needed to control those things. And third, I needed to get my kids on some type of a schedule. So with my kids, I developed a calendar along with my husband, and we stick to that calendar. It's on top of the refrigerator, and it lays out what they are doing every single day. My husband got involved, and he helps us, stay true to that calendar. And he has tasks as well. Working out. Once I regulated myself in terms of getting up and working out, that became a very important part of my schedule. Like, that became like my North Star every single day. Wake up at 6:15, get this workout on. Once you get this workout on, then you've got the energy to face the day. And the third thing, when I mentioned my finances, I had the time now that we're home, I had the time to really check and look to see where my spending was going. And I figured out a system where if I only spent paid a certain amount of money every single day to a credit card, that I would have that whole credit card paid off within like 3 months. And so I did that, religiously. It honestly became like a religion to me. And within really 2.5 months' time, I was debt free. So once I got those kinds of things in order, I really feel that my life improved itself. Now, I still got whole lot of things that I need to figure out. I haven't figured it all out, but those were really some three tactical things that helped me get my life in order that I think other moms would be able to relate to.
Well, you pulled it together, and our condolences to you and your family.
Thank you.
It's been, extremely tough, especially, during these times, and really trying to console, and not being able to on the level that we're used to. So our condolences and prayers to you and your family.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. People have to take this seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Social distance, 6 feet apart. It's that critical, right?
I know. Like, I wish that we all could be together right now, but COVID doesn't allow that to happen. But the thing is to be safe as much as possible. And I know that this isn't a conversation about COVID, so sorry about that.
No, not at all. But it definitely does play into our day-to-day lives every single day for the last 9 months. Like, typically, this would have been an event that we do, and we would actually be on stage right now, and there would be a audience in front of us. And we would be very interactive, having a good time being with people.
Have my outfit together.
Yeah, just not from the neck up, but the whole outfit together, right?
The whole thing.
And we're unable to do that, but we figure it out. And now we have platforms that, not only can I pick up my phone and I can talk to you, but I can actually see you, but more than one person, Deshawn. We could have a plethora of people here and have a conversation, from parties to play dates with our kids, going to school, going to work. This is definitely our new normal. And it's a new normal for our kids as well. And we have to talk to them about, well, baby, you're not going to be able to go to school physically, but you'll go to school from home. And what does that mean to them? How do they process that? It's been difficult for a lot of children. They want to be amongst their peers. They want to have recess. They want to have play dates. They want to see their teachers. They, from the teachers to the custodians to the principals. That's their we have our work family, they have their school family, and they don't have that right now. So how has it been to talk to your children about what's going on in the world, and how have you helped them cope through it all?
Mine are too little. I haven't had to have that conversation really.
Mm-hmm.
I just told my 2, almost 3-year-old that you have to wear a superhero mask sometimes, and he was cool with that, and that was kind of the end of it. So I don't have much to say on that subject.
Gotcha.
It's been a long journey for us as far as the differences. At first it was no school, and then it was some school, and now the children are going to we have an in-home daycare where they're doing the e-learning with them, because we have 3 children, and my husband has gone back to school and I'm working. So we weren't able to be at home with the kids, and we very fortunately have a long-standing relationship with our daycare provider, and she was able to do this for us to stay in business as well as to help us out. But we have had to have those conversations with our 2 oldest. And they're very resilient, and it's kind of remarkable. I think it's a testament to children and their joy, that their optimism on the world, their lack of jadedness, perhaps, to where they're not really scared. They don't mind wearing masks. They understand the transitions that we're making, and they're rolling with the punches. They haven't really complained a lot, honestly. My youngest, she's only 2, so she really doesn't get it. So she really misses her school and her teachers, and she'll talk about them and say, "Are my friends at school?" So it's hard to explain to her that everybody else isn't there either. I think she thinks they all are just at school and she's missing out. And so that makes her sad. So for us, it's just been having these serious conversations, like there are precautions and you have to sanitize and wear masks, and we're not going out to eat and we're not doing certain things. But at ages 2, 5, and 7, it's okay. I can't imagine having, teenagers during this time who have a little bit more free will and a little bit more ability to push back. I think that for me, I think that would be a lot harder to navigate than my little guys. They're all pretty open, really.
And my kids have been okay with it. So I've got 2 here at home, my 10-year-old daughter and my 9-year-old son. My 10-year-old daughter, social butterfly. I don't know where she gets it, but she loves to be out at school, socializing with her friends, impressing teachers and everything with her wits. My son, he's also pretty extroverted as well, but he understands, the importance of being home and being safe, probably more so than anybody else in this house. He's the one who's pushing for, we don't need to be at school. We need to wear masks and everything. They've both gotten used to it, and they're okay. But I would say that they are resilient, but I can also say that this has been an awesome time for me. It's a silver lining in being here at home with my kids. This is the first time in my life, and I've been a mom now for almost 30 years. My oldest is out of the house. She's married and with children. This has been the first time in my life I've been able to spend this amount of time with my kids. So to actually get to know them, to see them grow, and then also for them to see what I'm all about too at home, because, they don't know. They only knew that I went to work every day. They don't know how I'm running meetings or being run, by a supervisor. They don't know what I'm going through. They learn a lot about work ethic and also, how to manage yourself at a job by being able to come in and see these Zoom meetings, see what a boss looks like, and to also see what their mom is doing in order to try to navigate the corporate world and do well within her career. So it's been tough, but it's also, it's just so many silver linings with what we're living through right now. And I fortunately am, I have the blessing of being able to work from home. And I love the fact that they get a chance to see it. I love the fact that we're here. It's tough, but it's also kind of, it's a blessing as well.
Yeah, young people are resilient. My son, he started ninth grade, unfortunately from home, but he does not want to go outside for anything at all. And he's fine with it. He's like, as long as I have a PlayStation and a computer and I can do my homework, I'm fine. He has been outside to go to the doctor and maybe to take a walk throughout the development. And other than that, he's like, no, it's too dangerous. He's like really taking this seriously. And I commend him for that, because there are some people that are not. And, the more that we do take this seriously and we do instill it in our children, the better. But I'm like, I need to go to the store. Do you want to come? Do you do anything? He was like, no, why are you going to the store? Can't you order that? I'm like, wait a minute. So he's keeping us all in check.
My 2-year-old, if I have my phone out, goes, what are you doing, Mama? You ordering groceries? You getting groceries? Can I order groceries? That's what he thinks the phone is for now, only.
Yeah. And I'm sure he wants to add his items too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, add some cookies to that, Mom.
Yeah.
So what skill, in raising children, as we talk about our kids, what skill in raising your child that you have brought to the workplace? For me, it's patience. I have not been the most patient person all my life. It's like, go, now, done. And then after I had my son, it's like, okay, wait a minute. Everything isn't going to line up to your schedule the way you want it to. There are going to be items that happen or things that happen throughout the day that are not going to go as planned. And you have to slow down so you can catch up with your day effectively. So I would say I brought more patience to the workplace. So what can you say is the skill or something that you brought to work through raising your children?
So for me, go ahead, Deshaun.
I was going to say more transparency. I usually didn't talk about my kids or my family at all at work, just I thought that that's what being professional meant was, you don't bring what's home into work. Well, in this situation, you have no choice. So I remember one of my first Zoom calls, I'm trying to be all professional in my bedroom because at that point I didn't have an office space. And my son walks in and I'm on the phone with my boss and other team members from different countries. My son raises up his shirt while I'm on camera and he says, Mommy, look at my six pack. Everybody on the call, I had colleagues from Germany, Italy, my boss from the US, other members of my team right there. All of them, they see this little black boy's, what he calls a six pack. All it is really is bones. Right there. He just heard me. He said, how dare you? They see that on camera. And so I think like the embarrassment is not something that I can even, I've gotten over the embarrassment of or even feeling embarrassed when stuff like that happens. So definitely become more transparent about my kids and my life and my family. And I found out too that it's okay. People give you the grace. They need that levity, and it brings some humor sometimes, to what might be an otherwise stressful conversation. So that's been the biggest thing for me.
For me, it's kind of been a two-part thing that I can think of, and one part is kind of an Achilles heel. It's the best of times, the worst of times, and that's the mother's heart. I brought my mother's heart to work with me, and I think before I had children, I was still a very empathetic person. That's why I chose to go into Social Security disability and help the disabled. But I think it's kind of like the Grinch. Once you have children, your heart grows to these enormous lengths that you don't even think it's possible. And I think I brought some of that to work with me. And suddenly everybody that I meet who's disabled, that's somebody's child, that's somebody's wife, that's somebody's brother, that's somebody's mom or dad. And it really puts that in perspective, like, wow, if this was my kid, could you imagine them going through this, what this person is going through? And on the other side of the coin of that, it also, I think motherhood has thickened my skin. And I know that's kind of two sides of the same coin, I guess, but it's true. I also feel like when I find opposition, I'm even less daunted than I was before, and more resolved in fighting for what I believe in, or fighting for someone who can't fight for themselves. So I think that it's made me a better advocate for people who need me to be an advocate for them, because I have this mama bear complex now that I didn't as a young woman, and I think that just makes me actually stronger for my position.
I have definitely learned the almost like not the opposite, like to let go. Like I've just released, like I delegate, I release, I encourage autonomy. I no longer feel like I have to have my hands involved in everything. Like my 2-year-old can feed the dog. He's capable. Like he does it. And I don't have to choose his outfit. He can do that. I don't need that battle. Who cares? Whatever. He's wearing clothes. I think, in the past, and then the same thing for like work. I felt like I had to have my hands, especially being a business owner, that I needed to be involved in every element of the business. And they kind of have worked hand in hand. I've caught on to this, like, oh, if you give people independence and autonomy, like they're going to run with it. And the more often than not, they're going to like rock it. Like they just need the space. And not to say that I'm treating my like coworkers or employees or anyone I work with, like my children, but like I've just seen those lessons with both people. Either way, nobody needs me involved in everything. That's just not even necessary. In fact, I probably make things worse sometimes. So I've just learned that I need to step back.
Yeah. With balancing career, family, friends, it's a juggling act. We all ace at times, but there are times when we can't give ourselves that high five, like I knocked it out the park, where we have to make the tough decision of, at this moment, I need to focus on work or focus on family. And then the mommy guilt kind of sucks you in.
It is real.
Work through the mommy guilt. As we always
Wine. Can we go back to the title of this? Wine helps. Mom guilt is real. I mean, it is. Yeah. It is pervasive. It's real. It is crushing at times. And I mean, I've had plenty of times where I've cried. I've been hard on myself. I must actually be the worst mom ever. That has crossed my mind, because you want to do well, and you want your little people to be happy, and you want to be the best mom you can. And when you have other priorities at times that need your attention, need your focus, and you're not able to give everything that you want to give, man. And even when you are giving everything that you can, and things still fall apart, and you have a toddler running around screaming, and you have boys whining about more tablet time, and it's like, man, I hope my kids aren't going to be like the world record holders of tablet time. I mean, you just kind of just put that on yourself, just like, how am I doing okay? And there's no real measure of that besides social media, and that's kind of the worst enemy of mommy guilt. I mean, you see all these wonderful pictures and posts on social media, and you're like, well, I'm definitely failing. Absolutely, I'm failing. And I don't know how to combat it. I try to put things in perspective. I have a good network of moms that we're able to talk and give each other reality checks, like, no, actually, you're doing wonderful, and your kids are, we can give each other those pep talks. And I mean, I think sometimes it just comes down to, if that doesn't work, then I just watch trash TV to make myself feel better. Like reality TV, those people are dumpster fires, and that at least makes me think, okay, well, I'm doing all right. So it can be as silly as that, but
Yeah.
You do what you do to get through, you know?
Yes, absolutely. And social media is just the facade of the perfect life. It's like
It
TV.
is.
Everybody is happy.
Yes.
But, behind that monitor, it's a life just like ours. Everybody is
Exactly.
figuring it out just like we are, and having the mommy guilt and working through it. Everybody is opinionated and has their judgments, but until it's them, and you have to make that decision. So I totally definitely get that. Mom guilt. I'll tell you a quick story. I was sick one day and I didn't go to work. It was like a Monday, but my son's holiday, his very first holiday pageant was like that Friday, and I took Friday off. And my boss at the time was like, well, since you didn't come to work on Monday, are you going to come on Friday? And I'm like, well, no, I actually took Friday off. I was sick on Monday. And he was like, no, I really need you to come in on Friday. And I was the first time my son was 11 months. I was sucked into it and I didn't go. And I felt sick like for the entire month. My husband was there. They had a good time. I just felt sick. Like, I can't believe I caved in. And at that point, if there was anything I was doing or needed to do for my son, it was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then it got really easy to say, no, I can't do it. It's like you experience that one heart-wrenching mommy guilt moment and you're like, never, ever again. So I think I learned from mine.
That is so true. That's one of the reasons I left my former career, which was in television news, was because I missed everything that my oldest daughter was doing for the first, I want to say, 18 years of her life. I put work ahead of everything. And even as I had worked in television for a very long time, they still wanted you for all of those holidays, for all of those off hours. I'd be at work sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning, running a shift. And even when I first started in my career, my daughter used to sleep underneath my desk because I was a single mom, and didn't have anyone to watch her. So she would have to sleep beneath my desk. I would sneak her into the newsroom in order to do it. There were so many sacrifices that I made, with that first child. So with these last two, I really try to give them that time. And when I just can't, I really try to make up for it, at another time. Take them to the cake bake shop, or to go and get some bad fast food or something like that. I just try to figure out ways to get that guilt off me and to get that time in with them. But it's so real.
The struggle, the challenge is there. I think I have more doubts than guilt. And I think this year has allowed me to not feel so much guilt. And again, my oldest is almost 3, so I'm still new at this, but
I'm new at it.
But I'm going to try and maintain that and not allow myself, if I can, to feel guilty. And this year has actually helped, because every time I start to think, gosh, I'm not spending enough time with him, and trying to navigate, childcare and all that lately. But I think I'm home more than I ever would have been a year ago. Like, this child is seeing me more than ever before. Certainly the first 2 years of life. I'm not going out on the weekends. He doesn't have babysitters. I'm here all the time. I'm here. We're not going on vacations. I mean, like, we are here and we are present. I'm not saying that we're nailing it 100% of the time, but I think I still have doubts as a mom, but I think this year has reminded me, like, I couldn't do it any other way, and that's allowed me to, I think, escape some guilt, at least for now. We'll see if it sticks, though, right? I don't know. He could be 7 and I'm going to call you all and be like, I screwed this whole thing up.
I need a moment. Yes.
You're good. You are good.
Absolutely. So, we've talked about what we do for our families, for our kids, how we blend work and life into our career, and our life into our career, vice versa. So what do you do for you? What me time ritual is the one thing that you have to do for yourself where you shut everybody else out and it's only about me, myself, and I?
I wish I could say the first time we talked, I was like, I'm going to start taking baths. I took a bath. You know what I realized? It's not one activity for me. It's setting aside the time. It actually doesn't matter what I'm doing. I just, last night, I had a 2-hour phone call with a childhood girlfriend. I'm not going to do that every day or every week, but like that was the thing I needed to do. So maybe one day it's a walk, one day it's a bath, one day it's a phone call. It's just for me more the structure of making sure that I'm setting aside time and I'm protecting that ferociously. And even if somebody's trying to like impede on that and well, I need you, it's like, this is the time you can talk to me after.
So Leslie, I'm glad you got that bath in.
One is good.
One is good.
Maybe I should go one month.
Hey, that's good. Before I got to the weekly, I was doing one a month because it took a while. So you guys already know about my bath routine. For everybody else, I take a bath at least once a week. But I take showers every day, just so you know. That's not the only way that I clean up.
Yeah.
But that's a way that I relax and I just have that me time. And then there's some other little things that I do, like I listen to a prank call station and I laugh and crack up about, just some of the dumb things that people allow themselves to believe while they're being pranked on a phone call. That is one of the loves that I have to do. I also, and a lot of people probably do this and they don't realize that it's me time. When I first come home from going to the store or wherever I'm coming from, I sit in the car by myself. It can be a complete silence, or I could be listening to a favorite radio station or a book. But most of the time, it's just me in the car by my absolute self. And I love it so much. And then I would say the last thing is I mentioned this earlier, I do a workout almost every single day with a place in town called Studio G, and we do workouts where it is either kickboxing or weightlifting or Zumba or the latest one, which is twerk and tone. Oh my gosh. So those workouts, especially the twerk and tone, they really, really, they really get you. Your kids cannot be in the same room with you for that particular workout. But just like really finding those opportunities to be by myself, just really bring me joy. And they help me to be a better mom and wife and worker. And they are absolutes. Everybody must have that me time.
So for me, one of my main things that I did pre-pandemic was live music. I love live music. I love going to concerts. I love the environment. I love music. I love all of it. And once the pandemic hit and everything was canceled and that kind of became not an option, I really got into, or I am into, live streams or watching old concerts or whatever, just having a glass of wine by the fire and streaming a live show either from someone's home that they're streaming or back in the good old days when we could do such things that were recorded. So, it's been different and it's not quite the same, but it still allows me to have that outlet of feeling the music and just having that time. It's very peaceful for me. My other big outlet that wasn't ruined or at least lessened by the pandemic is running. I love to run. It's because I can just be by myself. I can just let go of anything that I have to think about or worry about or obligations during that time and just focus on my breathing and have my earbuds in, listen to music, and just go for as long as I'm able. Now, some days it's only 15, 20 minutes that I'm able to squeak in before I have to leave for work. Sometimes
that's great. That is great.
If I could run for 2 hours, I would, just so I don't have to talk.
Oh my gosh.
Or answer questions. It's just great to have that time of no pressure. But I squeeze it in whenever I can. I mean, if it's on lunch breaks, if it's between appointments, if it's after work, if it's right after bedtime, if it's still light enough where the kids are in bed. I'll squeeze it in wherever I can because it really rejuvenates me. I think, everybody talks about being an extrovert, introvert. I'm very extroverted, but I need that introvert recharge time to just kind of be quiet within myself and be reflectful. So I have a few things, and we've all had to shift with the pandemic because a lot of people have those things that are very social, whether you like to play a sport or travel or go to concerts. And a lot of those things are kind of off the table. So that's just been very difficult to navigate too, is we're all in this really strange environment where something that we love has been affected by this pandemic. And so we've had to pivot and find other ways to enjoy that thing or those people or take care of ourselves. And so that's been really interesting for me to try to still figure out ways to self-care in this environment, because it's even harder.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yes. You ladies have it together.
I might take a brisk walk at a.
Hey, I wasn't always a runner, and then one day I got into a motor vehicle accident. Somebody T-boned me, and I went for physical therapy, and the physical therapist was like, "You really need to strengthen up your muscles, or you're going to be in some chronic pain." And so that made me go to the gym. The gym had a track. I started running, and then I realized I love it. I think, with working out, it's not always enjoyable, but I think everybody has some modality of exercise or working out that you can find that you love. It's just finding it, and then getting started. That's the hardest. Once you get started and you find, oh, I actually don't hate this, then it's kind of easy to keep it going. But finding that thing and then starting it, uphill battles for sure.
Yeah. And we still have a couple of, I guess, nice, beautiful days left without snow and super cold where you can throw on a jacket and take a brisk walk.
Yes, my favorite area is the canal right here downtown. It's such a nice area to enjoy during a beautiful day. I'm so thankful for these next couple of days of 50-degree weather because, yes, everybody get outside.
I didn't even know that. That's great news.
Yeah, it is.
It's going to be nice, until the weekend. And then it's kind of downhill. But, yeah, get outside. Because then we're going to be stuck inside for January and February. Will not be fun for anybody, I don't think.
Oh, no. I'm not looking forward to that at all.
No, we're not going to do anything.
Yes. And we'll look forward to those days that we have here in the next couple of days. And just, you guys, thank you so much for taking your time and your energy and your expertise and just bringing them to the mom panel, because I've been taking down notes while we have been talking of things that I would like to implement in my day-to-day, from self-care to work-life balance. So I hope we've helped each other here on this panel, and then everybody that's watching as well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
for the opportunity.
Yeah, it was great to talk with you ladies.
Yes, and we'll have to do like a recap, like mom's panel 6 months later. How's it going?
Hopefully we have a little bit more freedom, in 6 months.
That would be great.
That would be wonderful, right?
Maybe we can meet, like hang out, hopefully, right?
And drink wine.
Yes, and
God, that would be beautiful.
Get you out of the house.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have my office back to myself.
I saw that.
Yes. And I saw the exercise ball come in, so work it out, girl.
Sorry about that.
No, not at all. It's real life, and that's what we do each and every day. So thank you guys for being a part of Inspire You, our first virtual expo. This was amazing. Ladies, give yourselves a round of applause. And for everyone watching, thank you so much. I hope you're able to take something home to your day-to-day life. And thank you for watching. And of course, we have plenty of panels and experiences coming up throughout the day, throughout the entire weekend. Definitely take it all in. It's absolutely free. It's our gift back to you during this holiday season, in the season of giving and thankfulness and just being grateful that we are all here still doing what we love and being able to serve others at the same time. So thank you guys for watching. Continue to watch and have a blessed day.
Thank you.